Welcome back, welcome back. So now that we're getting off of this, well, we're not getting off of it, but taking a little break from the talking to women thing and the search for the wife and the happy life. Many things to talk about, and beating that dead horse has got me quite a few new viewers. Welcome, ladies, because I'm sure all of you are men. I'd like to apologize for my attitude, not being able to successfully capture one of you. It gets us mad, you know. Well, you don't know yet, but when you're 40, you'll get it then. You'll understand. Anyway, today we're gonna break down some reality, and we're gonna use some science or proper thinking. I don't know if you want to call it science. I don't know. We're gonna use we're going back to proving how my father's real, and then at the end, we're gonna talk about a really, really crazy thing. It's not crazy, but I don't know. It's GMB style. Let's go.
The laws of logic. There are three fundamental, undeniable laws of logic which govern.
Sound the horns.
What are the laws of logic? There are three fundamental, undeniable laws of logic which govern our reality and thought. These are universal laws presupposed by everyone, whether they realize it or not. We make use of them in our daily life without even thinking about them. And without presupposing these three simple logical laws, one cannot engage in meaningful conversation, let alone reason. So, what are these three?
Okay, so what we're gonna try to break down to you is if you don't know logic, if you don't know these laws of logic or have some under now, you don't need to go to school to figure this out because someone that figured it out is trying to teach you. And because I've learned that me as a man in this world, it doesn't matter what you say. You could be a fucking genius. If you figured it out or whatever and explain it your way, you're an idiot, you're a fraud, you're a new age thinker or something. When it's no, I've talked to, older gentlemen and they explain life to me. Get it? And then I did things like test what they said. Now, that's the same thing as going to school and learning fancy words like logic. You get it? This is everyday reality. Like, you don't need to, you shouldn't. He's explaining how to win any argument against anybody. Let's get simple. You want to win an argument against somebody? This is how you do it, using logic. This is why it's very popular for men online to throw this word in women's face because you no longer argue with me. You're breaking the laws of reality and making yourself look dumb. And it's not because you're dumb, it's because you don't get logic, and some of you do, and you try to fight against it with arguments. But you can't fight logic. You can argue with a man. You can make me think things. You can make me sound stupid. But when we use logical sentences and make you talk, you will talk yourself right into the answer and then just deny it in front of everyone. That's it. That's all that's going to happen. Just like men. This is how adults deal with kids.
Laws of logic. Number one, the law of identity. P is P. Suppose that P is any indicative sentence such as it is raining. The law of identity states that if a statement such as "it is raining" is true, then the statement is true. In other words, when we say something that's true, our statements become truth. More generally, the law says that P is the same thing as itself and it's different from everything else. Applied to all reality, the law of identity says that everything is itself and not something else.
To break that down is, if you're a cheater, you're a cheater. If you're not, you're not. And there's ways to prove it. If you're a liar, you're a liar. If you're an irresponsible man that you shouldn't have babies with him, that's what he is. And there should be a way for you logically to figure it out and save yourself.
Number 2, the law of non-contradiction. P is not non-P. The law of non-contradiction says that a statement such as "it is raining" cannot be true and false at the same time. Obviously, it can.
You can't be a good dad and a bad dad, basically. You know what I mean? That's what it's. You can't be a fucking loyal girlfriend, but you're cheating. You're not a good wife, but you cheat. You're a wife. You're a girlfriend. But you're also a cheater. Get it?
Be raining in Washington and not raining in London at the same time. But the principle says that it cannot be raining and not raining at the same time in the same place. Number 3, the law of the excluded middle, either P or non-P. The law of the excluded middle is very simple. It says that a statement such as "it is raining" is either true or false. There's no middle ground. There's no alternative.
Do you understand that's reality? It is or it isn't. Yin or yang. People that go in the middle and try to fucking smooth things out and make excuse, you're fucking beating around the bush. You're trying to say you're in the, no, you're this or you're that. Certain things, you are what you are. Get it? Now, when it comes to relationships like I'm on, there are signs. This is what everyone's learning and teaching online, and then you got people teaching how to cover that up and hide it anyway. So it's like, anyway. For the simple fact that there are cheaters, automatically should give any man or woman the right to say, "Are you cheating on me?" without hearing, "You should just trust me." No, the fuck I shouldn't. If I didn't see, the reason they ask you is because they did trust you. And then you did something. And that's why they're asking. They're not asking just to ask out of nowhere after a fucking year or 3 for being together. They're asking because you stopped being you. P stopped being P. Get it? You changed up somewhere and now you're doing things that are suspicious. And that automatically triggers the person to do these things and ask these things. Now, can things happen that are suspicious and not what they really seem? Yes, it's life. But, when I ask for your phone and you're like a fucking German Shepherd guard dog and I can't ever see it, come on, stop playing.
Those are the 3 simple yet.
When I ask you very simple things and I just met you, right? Like, yo, we should do this and blah, 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 and you cancel 3 times, or I say that, what a man should he logically think? I should keep trying to get with her. No, she doesn't like you. You get it? See, logic works in both ways. We're not just trying to bash women like, "Oh, you make yourself look." No, men don't use logic too. And that's how we get deceived out of our money or deceived out of our time because, It's logic.
Foundational logical laws by which we can have meaningful discussions and reason. For some,
You know why you need logic for reasonable discussions? Because we're trying to get to the truth and reality. Everybody wants the truth, and that's it. So if you don't use logic, then you don't care about the truth, or you don't know about using these regular ass things to be like, I don't trust this. I'm not dealing with this situation. You know what I mean? It's like how businessmen make deals. They don't make deals off of, I feel like this is no, they have to have fucking some type of evidence. Not 100%, because you can't in business, nothing's 100%. But there are things where you're like, yo, all right, I may not be able to 100% make this a gold mine forever, but it can last for 3 years and be a gold mine. And if I don't waste my money, I can reinvest that into another thing until I find this gold mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how shit is done, and this is how you take less chances in getting destroyed.
someone to deny these laws, they would be using the laws in the process, thus self-refuting them. For example, if someone were to say, there's no such thing as truth, that's a truth claim. So there's no such thing as truth except the truth that there is no truth. You see how ridiculous this sounds?
You see how easy it is to spot a stupid ass charlatan retard? There's no such thing as truth. There's only my truth. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? If there's no such thing as truth, there's no such thing as your truth. Duh. So there is truth. There is a way. There is a set thing. There is a law of how to live life.
The statement is a self-refutation. Of course, even God cannot violate the logical laws. The logical laws are inherently different from the natural laws. God may violate the natural laws, like suspend gravity, for example, but he cannot violate the logical laws. For example, not even God can create a rock that is too heavy for him to lift, because that's a logical contradiction. God, who is all-powerful, cannot create something which he is unable to overpower. Or not even God can create a square circle. Things like that, right? So that concludes my video on the...
And that's where we go into the deep dive of talking about daddy. Now, if that, doesn't, give you a little reality check, I don't know what will. Because, spiritual shit doesn't. So science and logic, math, and things that are provable in your face, you can't deny because you can go test it yourself. You know what I mean? Like women testing, we can do anything you can do better, and we should be allowed to work and all these things, and life is gonna be the same. You know what I mean? Like, before I jump onto my daddy and the rock thing, hopefully I don't forget. If you look at it from a like a realistic way where there's reality, and you don't try to put your feelings in it. Logically and factually, there are too many people, and there are not enough jobs for every single man. Right? There's always been like that. There was always unemployed men, right? So if you, at the same time, say, we're going to let women work, and there's no way to, make a whole bunch of new jobs and shit for them to work at, where are they going to work at? Oh, they got to work where the men are. So what does that mean? The men that are there go find new jobs where? There aren't any new jobs. So where do they go? I hope you're getting the drift. Now, you live in a world where all these women are working, right? before we tried this, all those jobs are guaranteed to men, right? Because you're a man, right? Now, if all those men had jobs, wouldn't there be less dusties, right? Now, if there's less dusties, then there's more eligible men that would take care of you, or, could. You just wouldn't have a job. You get it? So in order for you to get a job, I gotta lose my job, and then you gotta want to choose me fighting against the world, making jobs, or, doing whatever is out here. Get it? You get it? Do you understand that? Or do you really believe in your minds magical jobs got created for you and other people didn't lose those jobs? And then downsizing and all these other things. Now, that may not be true. I don't know. I'm not a fucking worldly man. I just look at things. Let's get off of that, and because it could be an excuse. Let's go on to the fact. There's not enough jobs. And if there was, they still don't pay enough to soothe what most women, majority on the bottom or whatever. Like peasant, broke women used to not think like this. They used to just be happy to fucking have someone there. It's a new phenomenon for a peasant woman to think like middle class and upper class women. That's a new phenomenon. Never happened. Now, that means you have jobs, we don't, and even if we did, the mentality of I want a baller or I want, that's still there. So, even if you used to give us the jobs back, you get it? There's only so many women actually in dope-ass jobs. The rest of you work at fucking McDonald's and retail and could be fired any day, just like men. So it's like, like, my point is, logically it can't work. It can't be real that we all get a beautiful wife and we're studs. It's not mathematical that you're gonna all get good-looking men that are studs that are rich. It's one, not all men look like that, and two, the money and the provisions are not there. So even if we can make the world even, everyone just made the world even, and we all can ball out of control, men still look the way they look. Men still have a lack of knowledge or romantic side or whatever the fuck it is that you won't choose a man, just like a man doesn't choose the fat girl to be with. You get it? It doesn't fucking matter. Now, so to me, the logic of all these people really believing that life has always been that way, when there's always been problems, and we can look up and see how many people, we can look it up. So to me, it's just shenanigans. Now, I only got a couple more minutes. Let's get to daddy. The logic that the reality of the creator being real is there. You can't see him, so you can't prove he's real, right? But I'm telling you he's real. Like he said, when you say something, it becomes real, but there's a way to prove it. I always use the easiest way to prove it with science and not the Bible. Scientists say man, the smartest, figured out by looking at men that none of these buildings or anything would be here if man didn't create it. Right? That's a hard thing to figure out. You gotta go to school to figure that out. Right? And then man figured out, well, what came first? Men or the world we live in? And if man came first, how come no man claimed it and said, I did this and we run this shit and all the rest of you motherfuckers just live here? No one will ever step up and say, I create the earth. Why? Because then people are going to say, start creating shit in front of us right now. Go create another Earth, God. Get it? You'd have to prove it. Get it? So, seeing that no one knows how to make water, but we know what it's made of, seeing that we can reproduce trees and we can reproduce each other, but we can't reproduce water. But we know the recipe. Who created it? You get it? We are on something that we've been figuring out how the things are and what it's made of and all of that, and we still can't create what was already created before us, meaning something had to fucking create it, and it's so smart, it said, you're gonna figure out that I'm the one because I'm gonna make the creation where without me you're fucked. I won't need to be there to rule. I won't need to show up. I'll just rule from behind the scenes and punish you until you wake the fuck up. Or send my little ambassadors and shit, you know. You know what I mean? The creation of the world is the proof that he's real. Now, let's get to that rock. Does God have a limit? Yes. Yes and no. The Lord is all powerful, right? And everyone says, there's nothing he can't do. I say, yes, there is something he can't do. And then you'll say, well, then he's not God then. He's not the all-powerful. He can't do something. My Father can't lose. Is that good enough for you? Does that make sense to you? He will never lose. He cannot. He can't create a shit to lose. He's a fucking automatic winner. Just like it said with the rock thing. The Lord is all powerful, so he create a rock that he can't pick up. Get it? If you're all powerful and you can create anything, then you should be able to create something you can't do. Right? So that means he's weak. He has a weakness. No. See, the bigger the rock gets, the bigger he makes himself. On and on and on. He doesn't ever have to stop. He gets a little big, makes the rock bigger. All right, I just get bigger. And I will just keep doing it and 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 keep doing it. You get it? So that means he can't lose. Do you understand? Logically? That baffled me for a while. I sat there and said the same thing I, say to you, to myself. Like, wait up, doesn't that mean God had a weakness? But his weakness is to not be weak. Ever. I said, that it makes sense. His weakness is to never not be the one. His weakness is to never not be the most powerful. I mean, it did say in the book, there's nobody before me, and there surely won't be anybody after me. I, and I alone, run this shit. Whether you like it or not. See, I figured, that out a long time ago, like most of us do, the Satanists and the haters. And just like their daddy, they are fucking mad because of that. They're like, there's no way to beat this nigga. Motherfucker. I'm not free then. This is not fair. It's not fair. That's all it is. It's just a bunch of babies complaining because we don't understand. I think my father wanted it that way. How fun would life be if you already knew everything? How fun would it be if the Lord planned reality and said everything has no free will and the story's good from beginning to end? There's no end of it. Because no one's gonna choose anything. You're gonna be good. Like a game, like a video game. I'm gonna program you to be good. There's no choice. You don't have a choice. The fact that you can choose good or evil proves that he's real. Because you have free will. Why? Because then you have to prove yourself worthy of it. I guess how would we be here to prove ourselves worthy of our existence? What would be the point of even trying to prove it? Oh, because that would mean it's like a contest. You prove something to get something. Because there's going to be losers. You know? I wonder what the prize is. Because it seems like we're focused on this. The meat. The life. The test. And we want our rewards now. We want our man rewards. You know? I know I do. But I'm thinking, like, did I really live all this life and try to be good just for that? Is that all there is, really? This is what you did all this for? And logically, I can't say yes. I have to have the thought of, there is something after this greater. And like I've always said when I was younger, I'd rather be a janitor there, street sweeper, than not be there. And then I grew up and became a street sweeper in real life and did all these things on camera and tried to prove the Lord's real. And it made me think, like, you know, what if, like, the Bible's real and all the other things that talk about the afterlife? What if life is the reward? Another chance to do it again. Among people that passed the test too. Only them. What would that world be? Oh yeah, my father said nothing's new under the sun, so it would be just like when he started it. Everything would be divvied up. Everybody would have their own shit. The father would lay down the law, tell the rules, and then say, I will see you guys in 7 days. But that's 7,000 years to you and 7 days to me. See you in a week, little nigga. I'll see you in a week. And then we live life. And we're back to free will. You get it? The world's not this way because people didn't fall. and choose to go against him. Now, what makes us go against him? I don't know. Seems like the same thing that got us going against each other. Favoritism. What we appear. I'm jealous, he chose them. Why did they get the ball out of control? Why? Because they earned it. Because he chose them. But then, we live in a world of man. I can bash your brains in. It doesn't matter what God chose. You better defend it. And then that's when the priest become warrior priest and warrior kings again. And the days of Jacob and David come back. Yes. Except there'll be new ones. New names. A new story.